Okay, so welcome to the fourth live Facebook on StreamYard. And today we're going to chat to Kay Attwood from Canine Services in England. And first of all, as ever, we're going to chat to Alison about Bertie and see how Bertie the pup is developing in his new life. And this is probably the coolest day of his life.
Yes. Well, he was out. He's got. I can show you. He's got actually quite heavy now. He is beginning to grow his dachshund. Can you see that? His very long dachshund back. And he's discovered his favourite new toy now is, we had to cut down some pine trees, is a big pine cone.
Wow.
That is his mental stimulation. So he had great fun, I saw this morning.
How old is he?
He's about 20 weeks now. So that was his mental stimulation at the moment, is playing and, playing football. Pine cone.
With an open pine cone where all the seeds have gone.
Yes, all the seeds have gone. Well, that's a very good point. I did not think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's an old one. It's not a fresh one. It was an old one we had in the house. Is that all right?
It's the seeds that are highly toxic, but that one's open and all the seeds have gone.
Yes. Okay, that's a very good thing to know. So yes, he's doing very well, and he was down the beach this morning with the other two dogs about 7:30. So yes, all good.
Just getting daylight then.
Just getting daylight, yeah.
So is he chasing leaves? That's always a good puppy thing for their first year. Chasing leaves.
Chasing leaves. He loves seaweed and anything kind of seaweedy that's on the beach. He tries to bring that home. And then the other day, I heard the three of them in the house going a bit mad and growling at each other. And I realised that one of the older ones had actually caught a rat and brought it in, which was lovely, because they were done it at my desk and I couldn't see what they were doing. And then I was like, oh my God, there's a dead rat on the floor.
Yes, I think Cooper was running around the park with a mouse in his mouth, and I'm convinced he caught it. I'm quite sure he caught it.
Excellent.
Oh, I haven't had any of that yet, thank God. I don't think I'm highly likely. No, I'm not.
If Jack Russells, they would do that. That's up their street.
I know, but do you know what? They never have. I've only got one now, unfortunately, and he's 16. I lost one in April. But no, they never did. In all the years I had them, they used to go down to the wood pile and know that there was something in there, and they kind of stalk it, but they never brought anything in. Thank God.
Okay, wow. So we're going to start off. I'm going to introduce you to Kay Attwood. So can you tell us, Kay's coming to Ballyclare for 2 workshops on the 27th and 28th of November, and we're really, really delighted to have her because Kay was over a few years ago, pre-COVID, and did a couple of workshops, and they were amazing. Lots of new exercises, lots of things to teach your dogs, and sadly, Kay was booked to come a few months.
It was just before COVID, wasn't it? Oh, you've put yourself on mute.
Don't let me touch technology. So,
and I'm coming to you on the 26th and the 27th.
You're coming on the 26th. Your first workshop is the 27th, and the second one's the 28th.
No, because the 28th is a Monday.
Okay, I've got the wrong notes here.
It's
okay,
the 26th, 27th.
26th and 27th. I'm glad somebody's in control. Oh, yes, it says here 26th, from 10 to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? So where did you start? How long ago did you start training dogs?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I've had dogs for most of my life, but I hadn't had any dogs for my working life because I was working. I didn't have a dog. And then I started to work from home after some health issues. And then I got a dog, took it to training school, and just fell in love with training it. And went as far as I could with that school, and they didn't do anything else. So I thought, oh, I've got the bug now. So I helped out. I volunteered at a dog training school. And before long, I was running the classes and taking classes and everything else. So I thought, I'm going to do this for a complete, career change. So I went and got some learning, and I went to various courses and did lots of different things, conferences, read books, went to all sorts of courses and everything. And then went out on my own and started Canine Services. And that was in 2006. And I've been doing it full time ever since.
Excellent. That's a very similar to a lot of stories. Probably exactly the same as my story. I started 20 years ago next year, so I'm 19 years on my own. But you've gone to dizzy heights. You were the KCAI Kennel Club Dog Trainer of the Year at Crux in 2019. Can you tell us how that felt?
Well, that I was totally blown away by that, because you have to get voted to be that winner, and I was lucky enough to get voted by enough people that gave me more votes than the other 3 candidates. So you get nominated, you have to be nominated first, and then the KCAI whittle it down out of the down to 4 out of all the nominees. So you go along thinking, I'm a nominee, that will do me. Cool. Out of the whole country, I'm a nominee. But so I was a nominee the previous year, and then to win it was like, I just don't believe that happened. It was amazing. Brilliant.
Excellent. And when I met you first, can you remember when I met you first and where it was?
Oh no, Robin, I can't.
It was at the bar at the WOOF conference, the last ever WOOF conference. So let's hope there's another one.
Yeah, there should have been one this year. It got cancelled.
I know there should have been one at Christmas.
So I met you at the bar. That's embarrassing.
Well, for both of us. But no, and then we had a conversation, and I said, "Do you fancy coming to Belfast?" And you went, "Yes, of course."
Why not? Yeah.
Good to have you. So, what did you think of the WIF conference? I loved it. I learned so much, and I met so many people there.
Well, I really love conferences. I love going to them. And I never take a dog because I'm a bit of a visual learner. I like to watch stuff happening. And, I want to be paying attention to what's going on rather than have to keep an eye on my own dog. So I never take a dog.
Mm-hmm.
But I absolutely love WOOF because there's great conferences. Many of them are fantastic. But I absolutely love WOOF because it's the only one that personally that I have found that are absolutely on top of, where kindness doesn't stop, it continues. So they're not just about making sure that the dog is comfortable and that you're kind to the dog and you're only using nice methods, but it's also that extends to the actual delegates too. Mm-hmm. And I find that I just love that. I think it's absolutely great. I think that Chirag has got it on the button as to how he runs those. Perfect.
Yeah, I find that too. I find it was welcoming all the time, and you got a welcoming email every day, and a newsletter every day, and a thank you when you got home. All those little extras that make you feel special. And
sorry, Robin, go on.
No, you go on.
Well, not only that, but I think the value for money is absolutely fantastic on that one, because not only does it include some top quality speakers, loads of them at that. It's several days, and all the food was included.
Yeah, it was. Yes,
the only thing you have to buy is your accommodation. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Yeah, and anything from the stalls that are there. But yes, I loved it. I thought the atmosphere was really good, and you're with the same 400 people for 3 or 4 days, so you got to know people, made new friends like us. No, it was really, really good, and the diversity of speakers as well is tremendous, and a lot of very well-respected people. But fingers crossed, there'll be one next year.
Yeah, hope so.
So now we've talked about your journey, similar to mine, except you've gone a little bit higher. So we're going to talk about the 2 workshops and maybe some of your thought process behind them. So the Saturday one. Which one is that one? For cognitive skills. So tell me about that workshop. What will people expect from that course?
Well, sometimes I'm not entirely sure that they know exactly what to expect. Mm-hmm. And I always feel, I hope I'm correct, and I always feel that they go home thinking, wow, I wasn't expecting that to happen, in a positive light, because I think they come thinking, well, this is something to do with my dog's brain, and I'm going to get him to think, and I'm going to get him to work stuff out. But I think they leave there going, I had no idea my dog could do that. Like, I'm working with a client at the moment who's got a 6-month-old puppy, and that dog can spell its name, and its name is a word with 6 letters. So it's not an easy 3-letter name. It's 6 letters, and she can pick them out amongst any other letter of the alphabet. And she's 6 months old. So I think people go away thinking, wow, my dog is, I thought he was a bit dim, but he's not. I've never met a stupid dog yet.
No, there's 2 things that dogs are not. One is not stupid, and they never tell lies.
No, exactly. Yeah. If they say they're going to bite, they're usually thinking about biting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I think people will take away from the cognitive skills one, is that, wow, I had no idea that my dog had this capability. But it's all about how you present it to them to help them work it out, because dogs are fantastic problem solvers and they love to solve problems. That's what they do their entire life. How do I get the things I want? Is just another puzzle.
Yeah. Yes, and and they're far better than us, because I rescued a collie there a few months ago in March, in adolescence, and it's not been easy, in fairness, but I have been training him 2 to 3 times a day, sometimes 4 times a day, and he is now training me. So I have to be careful of what I let him get away with, because he is actually teaching me where the treat box is, and he and last night I went to train him because he was following me around, and he had those eyes in him that said, I'm not taking in any more information today. That was it.
Yeah.
So on the little bit of information we have, you're concentrating on visual, audio, scent, and sensual skills. So these are all things that nearly every dog trainer should be able to work with, and every dog owner should be able to work with, but sometimes they just don't know how to. So there's a lot of games used for this, so that's quite exciting for them. Can you describe maybe just a little bit in brief, without giving anything away, for those who are coming and those who want to book, just a little bit of a taster for that?
Well, the Cognitive Skills Day is more about brain function and your dog working things out. And the Top of the Class workshop, which is the following day, is more about fun things to do with your dog. Yeah, you might have to think a little bit, but they're more of fun things to do with the dog. And, for both of them, you needed a fairly good level of obedience, like can you wait, can you sit, can you listen? Because the dog has got to watch a few things before you can actually do some of the exercises. So one is all about brain function and really excelling that, and the other one is more kind of like fun, but they're both all about mental stimulation. Because we talk about mental stimulation, and that comes in many forms. And I know that from speaking to a lot of people, that they sometimes think that mental stimulation is just about giving the dog a Kong with a bit of cheese in it, something to do on his own. But mental stimulation can be what you want it to be, but it's so worth it because it's got so many benefits. It can improve behavior, it can make your bond better, it makes your dog a better listener, it can curb unwanted behaviors, it can lower stress, it can develop a higher intelligence with your dog. It's low impact, it doesn't have to be high impact. It can be something that involves you or something that doesn't involve you. It can take on so many forms. And that's the bit that really got me going and got me into it. And then more of the skill side of the brain development and ages and what a dog can do and how they think and how they work things out. And that fascinated me. And that's how I got down to it. But how I really got into the cognitive part of it was my advanced classes. The same people kept coming back. I couldn't keep teaching them the same things over and over. So it stretched me to think, what can I get these dogs doing now? And we ended up doing all sorts of things. They know colours, they know how to count. You can show them 3 items and then say, how many is it? And they'll show you somewhere else that it's 3. So they can identify lots of different things. They can tell you the difference between the size of something. So their concepts of things has totally changed because you've tapped into that. And then once you tap into it a little bit, you can introduce lots of other things. So they just got better and better.
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent.
If a 6-month-old puppy can spell her name, then every dog has the ability to do all sorts of things.
Yeah, I agree. I agree very much so, because, the mental stimulation, as I say, I've adopted my first ever full collie, and people keep saying, oh, they're very clever, they need lots of exercise. He doesn't need lots of exercise. There's a balance between the physical and the mental, and the mental is the bit that's testing me and keeping it fresh and making up different games. So at the minute we're playing with plastic cups of treats underneath them. So, and it's any sort of training is mental stimulation. Asking your dog to do something is mental stimulation. So, but I'm really looking forward to all these, different ways of teaching these things. I think it's really exciting. And my friend Sandra, who was at the last course she did for us, is coming back. So there's a good testament for this one.
Oh, good. Good.
Coming back with a different dog, and she did say that your training was superb. So
was that the lady that brought the boxer?
No, the lady that brought the shepherd, the long-haired shepherd.
Oh yes, I remember. Oh, good. It's nice to see her again.
Yeah,
I'll look forward to that. But yeah, so they're both fun. In my view, they're both really, really good workshops to do with your dog, and you'll leave there going, I've got loads of tools now in my little toolbox for me and my dog to do stuff on a rainy day, maybe, or when it gets too cold to go outside, if they're recuperating from an operation, or you just think, do you know what? Let's not walk out today. Let's just play indoors. Yeah.
I think it's really important that people learn to do that. They tend to just turn on the fire and the telly and let the dog get on with it. And they wonder why their dog's eating the sofa. So, so there's lots of stuff in here. There's actually lots of stuff in here that I see would be good for behavioral issues as well. So self-management and impulse control are really good for those reactive dogs. It's really useful for them to learn those sort of skills. So can you tell us a little bit how that would match in with those?
Well, when a dog is reactive and is uncomfortable about other dogs being too close, I always allow a reactive dog to attend my workshops, but obviously I give them plenty of space. But that's usually because they use a different part of their brain when they're working out cognitive skills, as an example, because they can think about things slightly differently and do something that they possibly haven't done before. Like, can you look at this and then if I show you something, can you match it? So match and sample. But because they feel safe in that little environment, because we might put tables around and give them some visuals, and space, you're using a different part of the brain and you're doing something different. So you're not following a habitual pattern to a behavior either. So there's lots of different things like that can help. I'm not saying that do cognitive skills with your dog and your dog will stop being reactive, because there is a little bit more to that, but it can certainly help. Dogs may react for lots of different reasons. It could be that they react and get destructive when they're bored, that type of thing. So it can stave off boredom so that they don't react or become destructive. So there's lots of different reasons why, but mainly it's that you're training maybe a different part of the brain that they don't normally use like that.
Yeah, and there are a lot of dogs that I find are reactive or working dogs, and perhaps maybe that part of the brain needs to be used. Would you agree with that, or do you think that's...
Well, after lockdown, I'm finding that there's all sorts of breeds that have become reactive because their socialization skills have been severely impaired. But I personally haven't found that. But if you're seeing more working breeds than I am, then it's possible that you have seen that. So I don't doubt it for a minute. But yes, I think that it is likely that a dog with a working brain, or the genetics of a working dog, it's highly likely that is such a case that they haven't worked that part of the brain, the cognitive function.
Okay, I think maybe different areas of the country have different breeds of dogs, different types of dogs, and see different problems. And maybe just at the minute we're seeing a lot of the working breeds at the minute. So as well as the influx of cockapoos, that seems to be quite a popular breed at the minute. Is there many cockapoos around where you are?
Oh, loads, absolutely loads. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do a class tomorrow night, and half of it is cockapoos.
Actually, we've got a class where we had one with nearly all but one was a cockapoo.
Yeah.
It was a cockapoo party.
Yes. Well, not go into the names of them either, because they've all got similar names. So, okay, so you're coming over for the 2 days. Both workshops, or there's spaces available. There will also be spectator spaces, quite limited in that. So can you explain what a spectator could take away from this?
Well, they'll be able to watch all of the dogs working. So they're going to see different owner styles, different handling styles, and they might even something that is breed specific, like, look how that breed handles this problem or this exercise. Look how that breed handles it. Or they might see that I'll say to one owner, we need to do something different with your dog, because, as an example, if we're teaching them to do some bowling, I might say, oh, your dog's a little bit nervous when he knocks the bottles over. Let's try a different approach. So if they might go, well, if that happens with my dog, now I know what to do. So they'll see it from all sides, literally.
Yeah, excellent. That would be the observation of that would be tremendous, actually, for dog professionals, actually, as much as anything else. So, as ever, with all our training, it's positive reinforcement. There's no harsh methods.
Nope.
And all the exercises are fun. So the last time I was just blown away with the amount of stuff you brought in your suitcase. Is the suitcase coming with you this time?
Well, you have kindly booked me a suitcase of that size to come.
Yeah.
I probably will have some things, but I did send you an email with a list of stuff. Did you see it? Well, that was so that I didn't have to bring as much.
I don't always read all my emails, but I'll check it out and make sure the stuff's here for you.
All right, because I might need more room in my suitcase for some nice Belfast gin.
Ah, yes.
You see, I'm using my brain. I'm thinking ahead.
Excellent. So yes, yes, the local.
But yes, I will be bringing a suitcase, and it will probably have quite a bit in there. I usually bring more than I need, just in case.
And some space for gin, of course.
Yeah.
So there will be breaks for everybody, the dogs included. Tea, coffee, and water, etc. will be all provided. Is there going to be handouts or anything, or can we email them some stuff?
Yeah, they will get some handouts, and it will have everything that we cover on both workshops, and it will have everything in step-by-step instructions on how to do it at home themselves. Yeah. So they can take notes if they want to, but if you're working a dog, they're going to be too busy to take notes. But it really, even the spectators, they don't need to take notes, because I'm going to send them absolutely everything that I talk about.
Okay, that's excellent. So that's a really good value. Everybody's going to learn new skills. They're going to learn new stuff. Some of the people that have booked are taking classes already, so they're maybe going to bring them to their clients, the exercises to their clients, and dogs will be learning new skills. People will be learning new skills. I think that's an excellent value, and getting notes to help you practice. So ages ago, before COVID, I think you did some platform stuff. Can you tell us a bit about that? Because there will be a platform in the premises.
Okay, Coke. Platform training is really brilliant. It's for lots of different things. You can use it for place training. You can use it to help you with your stays, because a dog loves to go on a platform. And you can use it for heel work, for teaching the dog to exactly which side of your body to come to as a default action. You can teach them that there's a name to come on this side, and there's a name to come on that side. There's a name to be in front of me, and there's another name to be behind me. So you've got 4 different options for positioning. But it just teaches the dog where to go. It's a target that a visual target that they can see and go, well, if you tell me to do something, I know exactly where to do it. And they learn to look at your body as to wherever you're standing around it and go, well, I know exactly how to stand on that platform in order to be correct. So it just teaches them a lot. And it's also fantastic for fitness training, because when they get off of it and back on it, they're going to be turning in various different directions. So it is a full body workout, but it is low impact, because they're not running onto the platform, they're stepping onto it and stepping off. But whilst they're stepping on and stepping off, they're using different muscles for turning and that way. So it's a good little workout too.
Yes, it's good to get them to work their core actually on those and that quite small environment without running around like Egypt, which Cooper does. Well, actually, Cooper's not a bad dog. He doesn't need that much exercise, but he needs a bit of work. And I did teach him a bit of platform stuff just when we were messing about in the garden. And he took to it really well, took to it so much that he will stand on anything.
Well, I do an online platform training workshop.
Okay.
I courier the platforms out to everyone. So there's a set of 2 platforms included in the cost. So you get your platforms, and then the course starts online, and then we go over the whole thing online. It works really well. I've done quite a few, even out of COVID times, out of lockdown, because there's still a value to online stuff. Otherwise, you and I wouldn't be able to talk right now from Belfast to Surrey.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you again. I'm really excited about these workshops. And I think, if anybody's watching, just have a look. If you need to book as a spectator, just give me a shout. You know where to find me, Robin at robinbatesdogtraining.com. If anybody wants to ask you any questions beforehand, are you happy enough to take that?
Of course, absolutely.
I'm not sure that there's anybody live who wants to speak to you today, but they can always find you via me, actually. So,
or can they write? Is there a little chat, something that they can write into here now?
There's a little. Alison will put a link to you because this will be on Facebook. It'll be shared all over the place for a few days. To just get a bit of traction and some more bookings. So the first workshop, it says here, for dogs over 8 months of age. So that's due to brain development. That's cognitive skills. But the second one is for puppies to advanced.
Yeah.
So what age of puppy would you like in that one?
They can bring it from any time, as long as it's had its vaccinations and it can come into a class. We can adapt all of them to suit.
That's excellent. That's handy,
because what I'd have to do is if I've got an 8-week puppy and I've got a 13-year-old dog, I would just be able to say, for you're going to follow this instruction and you're going to follow these set of instructions. So it doesn't matter to me.
Excellent. So that's real. It's good that you can include puppies in the second one, because you maybe puppies might feel left out of these skills, but puppies just absorb information. They just enjoy themselves. Okay, their attention span isn't great, but it's really good.
It will keep them going, I should think.
Yeah, well, and to puppy owners, they will sleep all evening afterwards.
Yeah, for both workshops, the dogs do get tired.
Yeah.
So there will be breaks. I mean, there's tea breaks, as you said. But I always say to people, at any time, if your dog shows any signs of fatigue, you allow them to go on their bed. They'll come back and join you when they're ready. Or sometimes if errors start to appear, that's usually a sign of fatigue. But some dogs just go, no, I want to keep trying. Then we have to say, no, I'm going to give you a Kong. Off you go on your bed. Just have a rest. Maybe not a sleep, but just a rest. And that's important. So I'll be going over the importance of that type of thing and fluid intake actually at the workshops.
Yes, and a little thing that actually I learned this from Shirag: bring your own water from your own tap, because dogs, it's like whenever you go on holiday, the first thing you want when you get home is your own bed and a cup of tea from your own kettle, from your own tap, because there's something about your own water. So bring a water bottle with your own water from your own house, and they will be more likely to take a drink when they need it. But using their brain, using their skills, and using their nose also makes dogs very dehydrated. They use a lot of moisture in those exercises.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this has been brilliant. A really good insight of what people can look forward to these workshops. So, Alison, are we ready to wrap this up? Have you anything to say? Anything more you'd like to say, Kay?
Well, just that both of them, because we were generally talking about mental stimulation, but both workshops are the ultimate mental stimulation, because there's lots of different things that you can do: scent work, hide and seek, playing with your dog, cognitive skills. Even, if you've got a dog that needs mental stimulation and you're at work, then maybe even a good daycare centre is enough mental stimulation for that dog. But even a new environment, to take him on a walk somewhere new is a good mental stimulation for him, as well as your usual obedience class that you go to. So mental stimulation isn't about just giving the dog a puzzle, the puzzle toys that you can buy, and saying, right, there's your mental stimulation. And mental stimulation doesn't always have to include us. It just depends. Mine does with my dogs, because I want to be part of their mental stimulation too, because I like this mental stimulation for me is fun.
Yeah, I find actually if you're working at your desk for too long, to get up and train your dog for 5 or 10 minutes does everybody good. It takes your mind off all the rest of the rubbish that's going on. Well, Kay, thank you. This has been brilliant. It's a real honour to be talking to you ahead of the workshops. So we're 26th and 27th of November.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Thank you very much. Alison, are you ready?
Yes, thank you.
All right, and I'll